So in this masterclass, I'm about to teach you everything you need to know from A to Z about the Princeton offense. Let's dive in. This is what you'll accomplish from today's masterclass. You'll get a simplified perspective of what the Princeton offense is. You'll have a foundational understanding of the entire Princeton system. You'll get a clear team vision. So as we go through this masterclass, I want you to envision your players and where you would put them within the system and how they would perform with these actions. I'll show you how to structure workouts and how to run practices. In 5, you'll know how to install and teach the Princeton offense. Before we completely dive in, let me just give you a little info about what I've done with the Princeton offense. In the past 6 seasons, I've been able to surpass 100 wins with my program that I have right now. In 2020 and 2024, we won our conference championship. And since 2020, I've been able to help coach and mentor over 200 coaches with installing and implementing the Princeton offense with their teams. 4 years ago, I created the Princeton 28-Day Challenge, which teaches you exactly how to install the Princeton offense within 28 days or less. And to this date, I've had over 1,500 downloads for that course. More recently, I created a platform called the Princeton Launch Method, which helps coaches install and implement the Princeton offense with their teams. It has what I call the 3 C's. First, it has the courses. So all my top Princeton courses are on this platform, and it even has a zone breaker, because once you start dismantling teams with the Princeton offense, you're going to need a zone because teams are going to start zoning you. So I put my zone breaker on there. I have bi-weekly Q&A, have master classes on there, one-on-one coaching calls, and we also have an opportunity to get one-on-one mentorship. Right now we have over 100 coaches within the community, and you get daily coaching by me on the platform. All of our coaches eventually become master coaches of the Princeton offense. If you're interested in learning more about it, just click the link in the bio. It'll take you right there with more information. Let's dive in and start with the 5 non-negotiables. And I coach these 100% of the time, both in practice and in games. The first non-negotiable is spacing. We want our guys to be at least 15 feet apart. And we tell our guys, you can never play on your line. So if you're a high school player, you want to coach your players to play at the college line. If you are a college coach, you want to coach your players to play at the NBA line. The next is pace. We want to play fast, but never in a hurry. Okay. And how do you determine that? Well, it all depends on your ball control. Right? Are you not turning the ball over? That means you're playing at a good pace, and your player movement. Okay. So ball control and player movement is what equals good pace. And we tell our guys to sprint to screen. This is how you play fast. All right. This is pace, sprinting to screen, and cut to catch. You want to cut hard. Now, when your players believe that every time they cut, they'll receive the pass, they're going to cut hard. And last, don't be married to the system. Score the basketball. Jay Wright said it best. You're never more open than when you first catch the ball. So we don't want to run this old robotic 45-second style Princeton offense. We want to play fast, but never in a hurry. We don't want to be married to the system, and we want to score the ball and shoot it every single time we're open. In a nutshell, there's 3 actions that completely make up the Princeton offense. The first action is the backdoor cut. The backdoor cut will occur 100% of the time a player is denied. Never shy away from the pressure. We tell our guys, we want you to attack the attacker. Okay, be aggressive at all times. And you can see in the diagram here, X3 is denying 3 on the wing. So 1 will dribble at the butt of X3, and this will trigger a back cut by 3 to receive the layup from 1. The second action is split screens. And this is when 2 players meet at a point and make a decision based on how the defense is guarding them. Basically, it's just reading and reacting. And the split action occurs or is triggered when the ball is passed to the 5-man. This will trigger your split action. And last, false motion. I define false motion as intentional ball and player movement that creates space and misdirection for scoring opportunities. Within the Princeton offense, the misdirection or false movement is typically triggered by a handoff action. We all know that the fundamentals in basketball are extremely important. So we focus on 4 specific drills that we do daily to improve our fundamentals. And this is what they are. The first drill is 4-corner passing. We really focus on catching on 2, raising, ripping, and landing on 2. The next is our fill-up shooting. Again, we want to catch on 2, attack the gaps hard with minimal dribbles, and land on 2. Top shooting. A lot of our shots within the Princeton offense comes in the slot or alley area. I call it the alley. And we get a lot of 3s up in this drill with our top shooting fundamental drill. And last is our drive and drift shooting drill. We really want to create space for the driver first and then catch and shoot second. Again, in these drills, I am always coaching the non-negotiables 100% of the time. Okay, let's take a look at the drills in live play. We'll start with the 4-corner passing drill. There's 4 lines. Each line has their own ball. The objective is to catch on 2 with a raise or shot fake, a violent rip, and you get a minimum 2 dribbles to get a piece of the paint, and then you have to land on 2, pivot, and pass to the line that you're going to, which in this example is to your right. And then once you pass, you have to sprint to the back of the line. This is just basically working on catch, shot fake fundamentals, so you can start and stop a dribble without traveling. Next, we'll move into our fill-up shooting. Okay, again, we have 4 lines here. This time, the balls are at the top in the alley area. The players in the corner will fill up from corner to wing. The footwork that we're focusing on is inside foot, outside foot, squaring up to the rim, a hard raise, and then a rip to the baseline. Now, we want to land on 2 and come to a hop jumper and use the backboard on this shot. We do this because good defenders won't allow you to get to the rim. So this shot must be practiced, and the highest percentage is using the backboard on this jump shot. Now we're going to move into just fire. So same footwork, inside foot first, outside foot second, square up, and then shoot the 3. Like Jay Wright said, you're never more open than when you first catch the ball. So we really want to get this shot up in 0.5 seconds. We're working on quick square up, quick release, and every pass should be on the money. Now we're going to go into our Euros. Okay, this is basically a handoff. We call it Euros. We want to stop behind the handoff and shoot the shot. This will happen when defenses usually switch the handoff. You'll have some type of separation to where you can catch and release the 3 without pressure. So again, focusing on the correct footwork, inside, outside foot, squaring up to the rim, getting that shot off quickly within 0.5 seconds. Now we're going to take the Euro and turn the corner. The defense has switched and stopped us. Now we have to retreat. And on this retreat, we will throw back for a 3-point shot. Basically working on our 2-man game here. Euro, hard drive to a hard retreat to a throwback, taking pride in our passing, knocking down the open shot with great footwork. Top shooting is really big for us because a lot of our 3-point shots come in the alley area. We put 2 minutes on the clock, and our goal is to make 43s within the 2 minutes. We have 2 lines, 4 basketballs, and you're basically just filling to the open area, inside, outside footwork, getting that shot up within 0.5 seconds. And again, our goal is to make 43s within 2 minutes. Next up is our drive and drift. This is important because it creates space within our offense. Always maintaining 15 feet apart, but we want to drift in the direction of the drive. So this kind of feeds off of 4-corner passing because we're driving the ball, trying to get 2 feet in the paint, and the shooter is drifting in the same direction. Here we got an alley drive to a corner drift. A lot of the times that corner or wing defender will try to close up the gap, so we'll drift to the corner in the direction of the drive, catching on 2 for good footwork for shot. Now let's talk about installing the offense. I've created what I call a Princeton Pyramid, and it's a 5-phase installation process that creates flow within the system. First, we want to teach all the scoring options, and then second, we want to add in the false motion. And we'll start at the top of the pyramid. Phase 1 is point. Phase 2 is wing entry. Phase 3, low post. Phase 4 is return. And the final phase, and a bonus phase, is phase 5, which is chin. Now, as we go through these phases, you'll see how it's important that you start from the top and you work your way down, because this allows each phase to fall into the next, which creates your flow. Phase 1, the point formation. Let's talk about the alignment and positioning. The ball will start in the slot area. All positions are interchangeable, even the 5 position. But the point guard will be in the slot with the ball, one side of the basket line. You'll have a ball side wing, a ball side corner, another player opposite the ball in the corner, and the 5 opposite the ball in the pinch post. This right here is your point formation. Now, once the ball is passed to the 5 in your point formation, this will now now trigger split action, and you really only have two options for split. Your first option is to go into a split screen away from the 5 at the opposite pinch post, or on the same side as the 5 in the corner. Now, just like any screen pin down screening action, you have 4 options. The screener can slip the screen, the player receiving the screen can go under, curl, or go over. Those are your only 4 options in split action. Now let's take a look at some drill work of how you can install point and then see how it translates into live execution. The alignment for this drill has 3 guards around the perimeter with the 5 men on the baseline. The 5 will pop into point and the ball will be passed to the 5, which will trigger split action. The point guard will go same, and the undercut will be delivered from the 5 for a layup, and the step back will be delivered from the coach for a 3-point shot. Now we tell our 5s to take pride in their passing because they're not shooting at this time yet. They're really focusing on delivering that pass to the undercut. Now we're going over, which is zoom. So same concept, same action, but instead of doing an undercut, the guard in the corner will go over for a handoff, which we call zoom. They'll turn the corner for a layup. The lift will get the pass from coach and then do a post entry. Our 5-man will shoot the ball last. This creates a lot of patience within the post. Now, same action zoom, but now we're working on retreat. So we did this same concept when we were doing our drill work in our fundamental actions. Zoom, euro, retreat, throw back, throw in. Each perimeter player gets a shot. Now we're going to move the corner to the wing and go into away action. So point, split, away, under. The under gets a layup. The screener steps back for 3. And now we have the 5 flashing for a mid-range jump shot. So now all 3 players are getting a shot. Now let's look at some in-game execution. We have point, same, slip is the first option. You know the slip is available when the defender is trailing you. Now we go undercut for a layup. And now zoom action. Defense went under, so he shot the 3. Now the defense is trailing, so he'll go in for a layup. Now we move on to point away. First option is slip down the middle. Could skip pass to the open shooter. Next option is curl. If the defender goes under, you know you have the post up. Defender's trailing, so he'll curl for the layup. And now the undercut. And now if you have a 40% shooter, you can allow them to go over the screen if the defender stays below. Here's an over to zoom action for 3. Now the question is, how do you get into the point formation? Well, one way is rub action. So the rub area is in the paint. The other player opposite the ball in the slot will do a rub cut through to the opposite corner. Once he reaches the paint, the 5 will now do a rub cut to the opposite pinch post. This puts you in your point formation and it frees up the 5 to receive the ball in point. Here's a 4-man game rub action drill. 3 players will get a shot as the 5 takes pride in their pass. Rub through, the 5 will pop, which will trigger point into split action. The undercut will get a layup, the step back will get a 3. Here's some game execution. Rub through, away, curl for a layup. Rub, which sets the brush screen, frees up the 5, hard undercut for a layup. Now let's dive into the second phase, which is wing entry. And this is when the offense begins to snowball and one phase flows into the next. So there's a few ways you can get into wing entry. The first way is a dribble handoff, which will trigger an exchange on the weak side. The second way is with the pass. So when the point guard passes to the wing, that will force a blast through and the other two players will move on a string. Here's what it looks like in live play. Wing entry, blast through, all players move on the string. Now that triggers the 5 up and you're right into point. Wing entry pass, blast through, pass out to the top, triggers point, split action, undercut. Here we go out of transition. This is a great way to score in 8 seconds or less. Wing entry, now we're gonna go same, point into same, undercut. Handoff on one side, triggers an exchange on the other side. Now a rub cut into point. So now you can clearly see how wing entry flows right into point. Phase 2 flows back into phase 1. This brings us to phase 3, which is your 4 out, 1 in alignment, low post option. When the ball is passed into the post, the first option is for the top player to cut down the middle to receive a layup from the 5. The second option triggers split action. Now this is the same as point, but it's just done at a different angle. Now the ball, instead of at the pinch post, is on the block. This is a great 4-man drill that we do to install our low post split action. So we start with 2 players in the slot and a lift from the corner to the wing. The pass to the wing will create the blast through, and the post entry will trigger the split action. Wing entry, blast through, post entry, split action. Now all 3 perimeter players are getting a shot. Now let's watch some low post action. Low post, top cutter down the middle. Low post, top cutter. Low post entry, split action, first option, slip. Second option is an undercut. Third option, if you have a very good shooter, is an over. So now you can clearly see that phase 1, 2, and 3 all flow into one another. This is why it's important that you teach it in that order to create flow within the offense. This brings us to phase 4, which is return. Now the question is, what do you do when you can't pass the ball to the 5 and go into point? Well, you go into return. You can see at this top diagram here that the 5 is denied and the 1 will dribble at 3, which will trigger a back cut or a layup. Now if that back cut isn't open, the 3 will continue their cut out to the opposite corner and the 2 will fire up to the wing to receive the pass from the 1. This angle or this formation puts you in jungle. Now jungle is actually the same as point, but it's just at a different angle, because once the ball is passed to the 5 at the pinch post area, the 2 now has the option to go a pin down split action for 3, which is same, or the opposite elbow split action with 4, which is away. Let's take a look at some return back cut options first. Point, not there, return, back cut. The 5 is denied. We now dribble at for back cut. Now when the back cut isn't open, this will flow into jungle. And now you can go same for the pin down. Zoom. Rub. Return into jungle. Now go away. Handoff, rub, the 5 is denied, go return, into jungle, away. That was a great offensive possession and flow. Now that brings us to our last and final option, which is chin. You can see in the diagram here that chin is triggered by the dribble handoff. That dribble handoff will trigger an exchange on the weak side with the forwards. And this is typically called forwards up. This is a great way to make your guards become forwards and your forwards become guards. Once the handoff occurs, the pass will be made from slot to slot and reversed around to the wing. And now the 4 will come off a back screen or a chin screen from the 5 to receive the layup. Dribble handoff, exchange, the ball's reversed, chin cut. Dribble handoff, reverse, chin cut, layup. Here you'll see all the other options in chin when the cutter isn't available. And this is why we teach chin last, because you're able to flow back into any other phase. In the next few clips, you'll see when the chin cutter isn't available, what other options you have into flow in using the other phases. Here we have handoff chin. The cutter isn't open, into jungle, away. You can also do chin 2. So if the first time the chin isn't open, you can dribble out, you can reverse the ball and run chin a second time. Chin can also flow into a UCLA cut. So chin wasn't open. Instead of going chin 2, go chin UCLA. Chin into point. Away. Good skip pass to the open shooter. Chin cut, point, good curl. So that concludes the Princeton Masterclass. If you have any questions about the 5 phases we discussed today, just leave your questions in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. In the meantime, check out the description and go to the Princeton Launch Method. You get instant access to all of my top courses, our community, and daily coaching by me. I hope to see you on the inside, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.